right, hi friends. I just wanted to take a little bit of time here to again go over the college credit English research paper scoring guide to make sure we're all on the same page. I think going over the scoring guide here will probably answer quite a few questions that you may have, and obviously if it doesn't, feel free to contact me with any questions that you have. I'm just going to go through the scoring guide and just kind of reiterate a few things as we're getting close to our final submission. The very first thing that we're looking for in your research paper focuses on the argument. Okay, both of these first two categories are argument. The first one is the student offers a central claim, meaning your thesis statement, that is supported throughout the essay. The student acknowledges and addresses counterclaims and shortcomings of the claim. So if you have not addressed the other side at somewhere, some way in your particular paper, make sure that you go back and take a look at that. So this particular portion of the argument, again, central claim, counterclaims, and shortcomings, those are underlined on purpose. A score of exceeds, which is a 4 in this category, it would mean that you go above and beyond, right? That your central claim is amazing and that you address the claims, the counterclaims, and shortcomings as well. Okay. The next item that we're looking at under argument is that the student supports the central claim with logical reasons and evidence from credible and diverse sources. Okay, this includes the personal interview. And remember, you're supposed to have 8 sources total. And again, reasons and diverse sources being emphasized here. Okay, so exceeds would mean that you have 8 sources, they are diverse, and you have logical reasons and evidence from each one of those sources. Okay, the next item that we're looking for in the next two categories deals with organization of your writing. First off, it says the introduction hooks the audience. Okay, so you get our attention. You establish the claim and its importance and preview the subsequent organization structure. And the conclusion not only summarizes but invites reflection, right? Moves beyond why this is important, answers the so what. Again, we've underlined here the two things we're looking for. Introduction, conclusion, that they do their job. And exceeds, again, means that this is over the top awesome. Meets, okay, it does its job. Nears, we're getting close. And misses, one of those two things, totally not what it needs to be. The next category under organization deals with sequence, paragraphs, and transitions. Obviously, the 3 things that are underlined here I need to emphasize. The sequence of the essay follows a logical pattern that enhances the persuasiveness of the argument and the progression of the narrative. Paragraphs offer and maintain focused, supporting arguments, and transitions between sections, paragraphs, and ideas are fluent and sophisticated. Remember, we did a whole lesson about going back and identifying transitions, improving transitions. So make sure that your transitions are good and that your essay flows. It's in a logical order. Okay. The next two sections here deal with style. The first one says word choice is precise and concise. You've eliminated any redundancy. Then next, going into verbs are active and clear. If you have any passive voice, just know we are going to take points off for passive voice there. And I'm going to repeat this because this has been a big question. I'm not giving you a set number of to be verbs that you are allowed to have, but you need to make sure that you have made a conscious effort to reduce your weak verbs. Again, points will be taken off for passive voice. So anytime you have a to be verb plus a past tense of a verb after, that equals passive voice, and that would lose points in this category. Next thing we're looking at, sentence structure. In addition to being grammatically sound, is varied for sentence fluency and effect. So not all, your sentences vary in length, using a semicolon, coordinating conjunction, so on and so forth, and you've made a conscious effort to go back and revise for that. Okay, the next item under style is narrative elements, and there was a whole lesson that you've been working through dealing with narrative elements, including but not limited to imagery. Okay, so vivid description. You've included dialogue, and you've included characterization to help tell the story of the interviewee or interviewers. Now, some people have contacted me that their interviewee did not give them a lot of good narrative, and so my advice would be if your interviewee gave you mainly facts, go back to one of your sources and find some narrative from a source. Okay, we can always source the narrative part if we need to, and we can bring in imagery and dialogue from the source. Okay, so that's an option for those of you struggling with that part. The next section is multimodality. You have to have, as is highlighted here, 3 visual, audio, or technological elements that enhance the argument. This is where people normally lose points. right? Normally students sometimes will have a random photo in there that does nothing to move the paper forward, nothing to increase the argument. So make sure if you're including a video clip, an audio clip, a picture, that it does in fact enhance the argument and that you introduce it within the text of your paper. Okay. The next three items here I need to emphasize because these should be easy points, but this is always, and I repeat, always where students lose the most points. And that deals with MLA format and basic conventions. For MLA, it says information from outside sources is properly integrated and cited. If you have quotes that stand alone in your paper, meaning quotes that are not introduced or they are not integrated, that will lose points in this category very quickly. And you have to make sure that they are cited correctly. That was the whole doing the plagiarism check, highlighting the first word in your works cited entry, highlighting your parenthetical citation, making sure those line up, making sure that if your source on your works cited page is in quotes, it's in quotes in your parenthetical citation, so on and so forth. Lots of people miss points here. Lots of people very quickly go from that 4 to a 1. Because if you make multiple errors here, then it automatically goes to a misses. So something to keep in mind, make sure you devote time to going through, making sure you've integrated and cited all of your sources correctly, that your works cited page contains correct citations for all sources, and is properly formatted, right? It's in alphabetical order by the first word listed, your hanging indentation is correct, and it's double spaced like the rest of your essay. Again, these should be give me points. This should be an easy exceeds. One error automatically takes you down. Multiple errors, 2 or more errors takes you to misses completely. Okay, then when we come to the next section, again, this should be an easy 4 points. The paper follows MLA format, including pagination, heading, spacing, and font. If you have questions about that, you can Google MLA format, and it's going to show you exactly how to do that. Again, this is one where students are either usually exceeds or misses. Again, in my opinion, obviously it should be and it exceeds for everyone. And next, conventions. Student uses correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling throughout the paper. This one should be easy at this point. Your rough draft has been done for over 2 weeks. You've been going through, you've been editing. Make sure you use the Hemingway app. You can just Google that, put your paper in there, check all of your grammar, use turnitin.com. To do a grammar check, have other people proofread your paper, parents, siblings, share it in the cloud or whatever with other classmates or students to have them take a look at it. By this time, though, we should not have very many errors with grammar, punctuation, and spelling. So make sure you take some time, though, if you feel like maybe you do still have some of these errors, to solicit some help from classmates, parents, so on and so forth, so you can get that. So you can get somebody to take a look at that. Whew, sorry, I've been talking a lot. I'm not used to talking this much. When you come down here, we'll add these points right up here. We'll put it down here. It's out of 40. It is a 40-point summative score, which is huge for this semester in the grade book. And then down here's where we take off any deductions. If you are over or under word count, it is a Longview policy that is a reduction. It is a 10% reduction. Please do not let that be you. 10% is big, especially when this is worth so much. So just be careful there that you're between 1,700 and 2,000 words. It's 10% off if you submit your essay late to turnitin.com. And turnitin.com does provide me with the date and time, and it will automatically in red mark your paper as late if it is not turned in by 11:59 p.m. Tomorrow, which is Friday, April 17th. And obviously, if there are any instances of plagiarism, I should say accidental plagiarism, it's 10% off. That means you forget to cite something, or I have to write, I think you need a citation here. That's a 10% off. Obviously, intentional plagiarism is a different deal that hopefully we don't have to mess with. Then when you come down here, this is the final grade using the scale below. So you do get some cushion. So you can relax a little bit here. How can I, over the years, have decided to give a little cushion? It's very hard to get a 40. A 40 means your paper is over the top amazing and darn good. Have we had people get 40s? Yes, it's not very common, especially with the scoring guide above. But anyway, so if you achieve 38 to 40 points, that goes in the grade book as 100%. 36 to a 37 is a 95%. It's a very good score. 35 out of 40 is a 93, still very good. And then you can go all the way down again, the lowest score that we have ever given has been, I think it was in this range, a 13 to 15 is still 65%. This is overly generous, okay? Hopefully nobody is down in this category down here, but if anybody's below that, I'm probably going to send it back and have you redo it. So anyway, but friends, that is the scoring guide, kind of in a nutshell there. I know I spent a lot of time looking at my timer down here, but please take some time, view this video as many times as you need to, go through the scoring guide as many times as you need to. Final submit is Friday, 4/17 by 11:59 p.m. to turnitin.com. I noticed one or two people have already submitted, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm going to start grading those as soon as possible. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Please let me know. All right, friends. Peace out.